Hey Lennies and bunny lovers, welcome back to the channel. Lorelai here, and today I'm going to be talking about all the things I wish I had known before I got a bunny. To this day, sometimes it crosses my mind. I'm like, man, if I had only known that this was going to happen, I might not have gotten a bunny. But, you know, I don't believe in regret. Obviously, I love Lennon unconditionally, and I wouldn't have it any other way. You know what I mean? But it's good to know this stuff if you are considering getting a bunny, and especially if maybe you already have a bunny, but you're on the fence about having your bunny, or maybe you want to share this with a friend who is considering getting a bunny or just got a bunny, and this video might help prepare them for what is to come. So please, you guys, subscribe, smash the like button, hit the bell, you know the drill. Let's hop right into this video. So the first thing I wish I had known before getting a bunny is that they require space, okay? I'm silly. I got Lennon at 6 weeks old, and the guy was like, oh yeah, she's just gonna, you know, be like a 3-pounder, and you can keep her in this little cage for the rest of her life and just feed her these pellets. And I was like, cool, that sounds super easy. Obviously, there was a lot more involved in her care than that. And she grew to be closer to 5 pounds. And, you know, at this point, she's free roaming my apartment and has been a free roamer for most of her life. But she was in a cage initially, and she hated it. And when I look back, I don't even know how I kept her in this tiny cage. But don't let this scare you. It doesn't mean like your bunny has to have like a mansion or anything like that. They'll be content with just the living room or the kitchen or a, you know, 4x4 type of space somewhere. But anything less than that is going to be problematic. The next thing I wish I would have known before getting a bunny is that they will eventually die and that I will get attached. Now, this is going to be most humans getting attached to their pets unless you're like a sociopath. Hopefully you're not. But it's not something that people generally think about when they acquire a bunny or a pet. They don't think like, oh, you know, the loss of this pet is going to generate an infinite amount of sadness and misery and depression. It's something that's always been in the back of my head, but now that Lennon's getting older and older with each year, she's now 8, and I'm like, man, next year she's going to be 9. Let's knock on wood. Let's hope that she lives a long life. But like, there are no guarantees, and you know, usually like 12, 13, if it's like as old as they're gonna get, and you have to be prepared for that. And you know, I know for me, like, I'm extraordinarily attached to Lennon in ways that I never thought I could be attached. I'm gonna get teary-eyed talking about it. I can't even talk about it. So just remember that when you're getting your bunny, it's a lifelong commitment, but that commitment eventually does come to an end. And it doesn't mean like don't enjoy your time with them or constantly think about their death. You know, that's no way to live. Obviously, live in the moment, but just remember that it does eventually come to an end. And when you have to part ways with your pet, it is one of the saddest things that you're gonna go through. The next thing I wish I would have known is that vet bills are very, very expensive. Okay, like I literally just dropped $680 the other day on Lennon's medical bills, and it was not a fun experience. Granted, this doesn't happen often, right? It's like once a year or whatever, but still, like, you guys have to be prepared financially to bring an animal home. I mean, look, the good thing about bunnies is as long as they're healthy, they might go their whole lives without needing medical care or having any sort of medical emergency. Lennon, luckily, I would say most of her adult life didn't need medical care. It's really because she's a senior now and she needs to get like annual wellness checks and stuff like that. But there are rabbits that are like prone to getting sick a lot, or maybe you have a special needs bunny, or maybe you still have to pay for a spay and neuter, things like that. So it all adds up, guys. Just be prepared. I wish I would have known that I was going to be allergic to hay. I didn't know this, and I actually didn't even know I was gonna be allergic to Lennon. I've made a whole video on this. I am allergic to Lennon, you guys. Like, in case you already didn't know, and I'm highly allergic to Timothy Hay. And for the longest time, I was like putting up with this misery of like feeling sick all the time and on the verge of getting rid of her until I got allergy tested, was diagnosed with a severe allergy to Timothy Hay, a mild allergy to rabbits, and thank the Lord for orchard and oat hay, because like otherwise we'd be screwed. Thankfully, my allergy to Lennon is mild and tolerable. I'll just get like the occasional itchy eyes and stuff, but usually it doesn't like flare up unless, you know, maybe she's like molting and there's just a lot of fur everywhere. But other than that, like, you know, I'm able to like live my life with her. It just would have been nice to know beforehand. And a lot of people don't find out until it's too late, right? And they blame the bunny. But there are ways around it. Okay, the next thing I wish I would have known is that it's better to get 2 than 1. I will fully admit this, like straight up, no shame. I get crap all the time about it. And at least like I admit to my faults. I mean, Lennon lives a great, happy life, okay? She's one of the most spoiled bunnies you'll ever meet. But I didn't know that like having 2 was so beneficial until long after I had gotten her. I was in this apartment where you couldn't have pets and I had to keep her a secret, and I was very, very poor as well. I know. You guys are like, well, you can get one now. I'm just saying, I wish I would have known before I had gotten her, okay? Because that's what this video is about. So if you do plan on getting a bunny, just know 2 is better than 1. And finally, guys, what I wish I had known before getting a bunny is that they really, really love you. And the reason I say I wish I had known this beforehand is because when I got Lennon, I will fully admit, like, I was commodifying her. I was like, oh, she's just this like commodity, like this novelty, like she'll just be like a cute bunny in my house. And I wasn't really viewing her as this multi-dimensional animal with feelings that would eventually learn to love me. I was gonna get rid of her at one point. I was gonna like give her away because I had grown frustrated with her after a while and couldn't take on the responsibility anymore. And you know, it just happens far too often. People sometimes don't look beyond and they forget this is a rabbit that, you know, it's like having a baby. It's like having a child. It's not something that you can just kick to the curb. Lennon and I at this point, I mean, we're inseparable. And I'm so glad that I took the time to learn about rabbit care, get to know her, let her get to know me, because we are where we are now due to that. So hopefully, guys, this video sheds a little bit of light. Let me know in the comments below. What do you wish you would have known before getting your bunny? Okay? Thanks for tuning in. Love you. Mwah.